Okay, welcome. Thank you so much for coming to my birthday party and sort of Terminal 1 book celebration for the novel I've been writing for the past 3 years. I was going through a very difficult time in Amsterdam in 2022, and being an expat in Amsterdam, trying to find my way and sort of rebuild my life after certain tragic personal events, I had to sort of rediscover myself and find my way. And out of the sort of smoky neon Amsterdam lights and the freelance filmmaking, dealing with bastard DJs and artists and narcissist Dutch rappers, I was going through a lot of turmoil, and it really shaped me as a person, the person I am today, and the joy, the stamina and the endurance actually brought me a lot of inspiration. And I went through a lot of dark, lonely periods, and out of that pain came this story, set 1,000 years in the future, about a 99-level tower, and each level is its own city, its own ecosystem. So from all the inspirations and relationships and hardships I've had in my life, I channeled it into this book. So that I think ultimately what I find fascinating about my journey, and many of my friends, lots of you are creatives here and running businesses and working super hard, and we're all working together in Amsterdam, and I'm so grateful to have sorry I'm very grateful we're all from different corners of the world, and it's fascinating that we can all unite and share beautiful stories and share each other's stories, and Terminal 1 is the embodiment of that. And with a lot of with what's going on in the world at the moment, we're going through a fascinating transition, and there's a lot of darkness, but I do dream of the world as a utopia. So Terminal 1 essentially is looking at the future in an alternate way. So there is a lot of darkness there, but I'm honoured to be able to have the ability to write and tell a big story and share it with the world. So I'm really bad at speeches, I always cry. I'm too bloody passionate.
The story is worth crying, guys. Watch out.
So I'm just super honoured to have the ability to write. I've got fingers to type, I've got eyes to read, a brain to think. So I'm spoiled in that sense, and the ability to make videos as well. So anyway, here we go. That's the intro. Terminal 1, written by Aindriü Green. Chapter 1, 47 China. The night sky of the Dragon's Taste shimmered with red stars, the perfect distraction for Markel, prodding his cheesecake. I don't like it, too spicy. Cheesecake ain't spicy, boy, said Pascal, leaning in. It is. The Dragon's Taste was thick with cherry smoke, a sickly sweetness clinging to Markel's lips. Around him, other booths blurred in the haze, other occupants just glimmers of eyes and crypto braces. Slender servers served in red attended the booths, carrying silver trays. High in the stars above, red cubes began lighting up. Inside the cubes, feminine phantoms danced, their long black limbs twisting and turning. Eat it, Pascal hissed. What would Lord Bao say? Markel gulped. Mo Cha-Cha Bao doesn't make it. Mo Cha-Cha Bao is 47 China, Pascal smirked. I thought he was just a level lord, and you're just a lander. Markel scowled at his crypto brace. The two red bands flickering, he wished for more. Markel was 18 and scrawny, his sharp cheekbones cutting the red light into shadows. Matted black hair framed his twitchy green eyes. He wore a black tunic. Pascal was bold, leathery skinned, and looked about 50. Tattoos crawled up his arms and neck. A pink scar cut his brow, but his violet eyes were more unsettling. He too wore a black tunic and blazer. Shit, it's spicy. Markel forced another bite down, a woman's soft giggle flashing in his mind. He shifted, trying to tame himself, then watched a server pass by as she worked the mid-levelers. Pascal narrowed his eyes. These aren't cheap girls like the one you had last night. These are Lord Bow's Laili. Don't touch him. Oh yeah? What about the one in the cubes? Markel nodded to the ceiling. Pascal's glare told him all he needed to know. Markel shoved the cheesecake aside and tucked his crypto brace into his sleeve. His father would understand. Terminal 1 whores are necessary. Last night, while his father and Pascal prepared the pitch for Nova Dust, the super serum Markel's father had engineered, Markel had slipped out. He picked 2 whores, one in frills, all ribs and silence, whilst the other, all hips and cat eyes, watched him like a game. 3 thrusts, a fuzzy dream, and a gong to the head. He woke up with a limp cock and a lighter crypto brace. Pascal was tutting, watching Markel struggle with the cheesecake. What? Markel muffled through the cream. He braced for a scolding as Pascal stood. Whiz? A towering man approached their booth. He had a trimmed black beard and his hair was knotted into a tight bun. He surveyed the dragon's taste with his clever maroon eyes, scratching his long crooked nose. Markel cleared his throat. Father? A little girl trailed behind Mr. Westlace, translucent skin laced with black veins and glassy eyes reflecting the red light into shards. She clutched a crumpled tissue, nodding weakly at Mr. Westlace's new Mandarin whispers. Gentlemen, Mr. Westlace said, this is Fen, a gift from Lord Bow, to help the development of Nova Dust. Above and below, said Pascal, drawing a line on his chest. Mr. Westlace patted his shoulder. Fen prefers silence. Her right forearm was scarred and fleshy, no crypto brace. Her coughs were sharp and wet. She pressed the tissue to her nose, dark tar-like strands clinging to her fingers. We're close, Mr. Westlace announced. His dragon wants Nova Dust to work faster. The termite's burrow time is still too slow. He continued despite Markel's sigh. A timing issue is preferable to a chemical one. Fen clutched the table's edge, sweat glistening in the cherry haze. This investment will secure Nova Dust's position in the vertical market, and others will follow. One destination, said Pascal. One destination, Markel mumbled, covering the screen to his crypto brace. Yes, keep up that termite talk. Mr. Westlace turned to Markel and drew a line on his chest. Above and below. Above and below, Daddy, he replied, cheeks burning, shooting Pascal a nervous glance. They all took a seat. I'll get to your allowance in a minute, boy, clamped chest. Approaching the table with a decanter, glasses, 3 shots and sparklers, the server announced, dragon's blood and 3 shots of poison soup from his dragon. She placed them on the table. Heat prickled Markel's thighs. Smoke on Terminal 1, she's a tidy one. What was his dragon's offer? Pascal blurted. Mr. Westlace waited for the server to leave. If we implement the change, his dragon will offer 100 million. Markel straightened. Pascal spluttered. Tom then? No, Mr. Westlace said, eyes glimmering. Extremity coins. Pascal rubbed his hands together. Smoke on Terminal 1! Markel's thoughts raced. As they were on a cube, Nova Dust would make them rich, so he could finally ascend. He imagined heaven, level 99, where he could call the shots, and finally become more than just a boy. Whores, power, even Captain Clementine. The images flickered and faded, overshadowed by the weight of what it would take. Finally, it would be his time. 100 million. His attention drifted to the swirling liquid settling in the decanter. He hoped his father would pour them a glass so he could wash away the cheesecake stuck in his throat. What does Mo Cha-Cha Bao look like anyway? Markel asked. It's Lord Bao or his dragon, son, Mr. Westlace corrected. His dragon? Markel snorted. Why not the dragon? Boy. Markel sank back into his stool. He looks exactly like a Red Empire lord, said Pascal. Don't encourage him. Meanwhile, Fen dabbed her nose. Dark tar oozed. The substance shimmered in the red light, and for a moment it seemed alive. Mr. Westlace's gaze lingered on the black strands. He wiped Fen with a handkerchief, glancing around the restaurant. Pascal broke the silence. It passes, darling. No, it doesn't, Markel thought, gripping one of the shots, ducking under the luminous dragon snaking across the ceiling, swallowing a little night with a pop of fireworks. The three men drank. Show us the horse, Spicy Pants, Pascal blurted. If I see that den again, boy, Mr. Westlace rolled his sleeve, preparing his crypto brace for a link. Whenever two crypto braces linked, landers could exchange crypto and information. Everyone on Terminal 1 wore a crypto brace. Birth date, blood type, level. A lander's whole life wrapped in red numbers. It made a lander complete. Mr. Westlace reached. That shot, I feel queasy, Daddy. Markel, Mr. Westlace growled. Fen sneezed. She collapsed. Mr. Westlace's face flushed. Pascal, let's descend to my cabinet. Daddy, Markel squeaked, tugging his sleeve back into place. Silence, boy, you'll attract the wardens. Mr. Westlace topped Markel's crypto brace up, not caring for his history, and then he and Pascal fled the dragon's taste. Fen pressed between them. Markel was left at the table. He didn't care for Fen, just another pawn. If she died, crypto could smooth it over. Maybe send her parents something, enough to keep them quiet. Markel nodded at the passing server. Evening. She curtsied and cleared the glasses. Markel leaned back. Red dress, he thought, would look better on the floor. You're new here, aren't you? Shy, are we? He chuckled. I could help you ascend. He had cast a spell on himself with his own words, an aura of possibility. With the crypto brace fully loaded again, every opportunity unfolded like a tendril of doors. I'll give you 2,000 extremity coins to suck my cock. The server smiled. Markel felt the mortality of his soul again, a sweet afterburn in his throat. What's so funny? The server's smile tightened. I'm not one of those girls. What are you? I'm a Lyeli girl. She speaks perfect Londonish. And, Markel spat. Pascal's warning rang in his head. Don't touch them. Markel dismissed Pascal. That snake of a lander can grovel all he wants. He's just a servant. Maybe I'll call him Dog Snake. Yes, that has a nice ring to it. Dog Snake. The Lyeli girl raised an eyebrow. Lander, where's your crypto case? Crypto cases were for transactions over 100,000 extremity coins, too large for a crypto brace. My crypto case? You won't find Jam Jam better than this below 47 China, honey, she recited, smoothing her hands over her tight red dress. Who taught her to talk like that? Listen, whore, my father, future titles don't pay for my juice. A stunned Markel snorted. Foisin soup trickled down his throat. He was baffled. A server turning down the air of Nova Dust. It was an honour to be in his presence. He was a Westlace. He searched the darkness, hoping to catch her silhouette. When he found nothing, his gaze drifted upwards to the twinkling red cubes, where the phantom limbs pulsed in a slow, hypnotic rhythm. Fen is a gift. Gifts can be broken without the giver's knowledge. A figure emerged from the shadows. His silver hand gleamed as he sat opposite Markel. The cubes are beautiful from afar, he murmured. Smoke on Terminal 1, you scared me. There is no smoke, boy, only light and dark. Markel squinted at the man and rose. Stay put, boy. The man subtly shifted his arm, concealing his crypto brace. You have the wrong table, Lander. Markel buttoned his blazer. If you want to see your father again, you should sit, friend. What? If you want to see your father again, sit, friend. I didn't know she was a Laili girl, okay? Above and below. The man's silver fist slammed into the table. The hologram gel fizzed and hissed. Markel slithered back onto his stool. Your father has entered an agreement with Mochacha Bao. He didn't invest yet. The silver hand flexed. It does not matter. He's bound. Markel stared at the fist. Any thought of the server had long gone. Why not tell my father? You are also bound, the man said, turning his silver hand in the light. Blood of blood. Misplace a hand, you will lose it. But have it taken by another and you have mine. You're what? Markel eyed the silver hand. Something hot like tea spilt down his leg. Who are you? A friend. Markel blinked. The man was gone. Only the crack remained, etched in the table like a second heartbeat. Misplace a hand and you lose it, but have it taken by another and you have mine. For the first time, Markel wondered if the Nova legacy would bury him before he escaped it.
Express everything is just like amazing.
Oh,
I see everything like, I mean, you can be really a big person in future, you know.
Oh, thank you.
It was a very nice portrayal of a fictional story, but it was like very, I would say, layered.
Yeah.
Ways that I was like, so this is like intricate, moving into this person connects to. Really amazing. I'm really impressed.
I think the approach I tried to. Thank you so much. That means the world. The approach I did with Terminal 1 that I think helps connect it to a new audience was making it really human. So the characters almost talk like an English guy at the pub or something. You know, it's got that like back and forth banter. Because I think sometimes when you read like a Star Wars or a Dune, it can be a bit, everyone's like, ooh, the gloopity gloop glop glops, and you're like, wait, what? So in Terminal 1, everyone's talking like almost we talk now, but it's just got all the tech of the future.
Yeah, it really has this like cyberpunk kind of like feel. I played this game, for example, and I was like really trying to put the words and text you mentioned just now into like a sort of like environment that I was closing my actually like just to listen and like to feel the story more or less. Amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. It's that's chapter 1. So there's going to be 33 chapters. Each one ranges between like about 2,000 and 5,000 words, depending on how layered it is. But the premise is Markel's father Victor has made this super serum called Nova Dust, and when you take Nova Dust, whatever you learn in the next 60 minutes. It's a bit like tapping into the Matrix. You can play a game of chess and you will become a chess master after one game, because you're like on cocaine almost, like. So the Nova Dust. Victor's father then has teamed up with this Chinese lord who's acting as an investor, and then Markel goes on these escapades and gets tangled up in the low levels. So the story sort of splits in two, where the book jumps between Victor and Pascal dealing with Nova Dust and the Chinese, and then it cuts back to Markel, looking for whores, and anybody ends up in trouble, and so the book's sort of split into two like this. So it goes into this whole adventure and political drama, and
When you're creating these characters, do you think about their whole life beforehand? How does this evolving goes on?
Good question, H. So the way I like to write is that because I'm primarily a filmmaker, I have to write everything like a movie scene. So some books sort of describe how they're feeling, and they describe it in a way where you're almost like the eye of God, like moving around. In Terminal 1, I don't really want the reader to be the eye of God. I want you to be like in the chair next to Markel. So when characters having a conversation, I imagine it like camera angles, like the camera cuts like this, it's like a reverse, goes to a wide shot. And sometimes characters have different levels of knowledge. So sometimes Markel or Victor or someone will tell a lie, but their thoughts contradict what they say. So as the reader, you can start to pick up on clues. So going to your question, Acha, is I actually just begin with scenes, and I actually just began with the cheesecake scene. I wrote this cheesecake scene at first, and I just wrote 47 China. I didn't know it was a tower. I didn't know what it was. I just loved the word 47 China. So then I thought, well, as I was just immersing myself in this scene, Pascal, Markel, the father comes to the table. I was just sort of free flowing, and it was this cool dark restaurant. And then I thought, ooh, maybe there can be a level below. There's level 46 and 48. Okay, what's the other 40 something levels? What's above it? There's 99 levels. And then when it comes to the characters, because I've got these scenes with characters talking and politics brewing, I think I just continue with the novel, and then when I hit certain narrative moments, I need to know what the history of that character is. So I might get to chapter 10 and I think, okay, why is Victor an engineer? How did he make this? So then I have to leave Terminal 1 for a minute, go over to a new Word document, and I have to type Victor's history. So then I made up this backstory about how he went to the Engineers Guild on another level. Then I'm like, okay, what's the Engineers Guild? Who went there? What's Pascal's background? Then I made up a story about Pascal used to be a pilot too, because one of the levels is like the military level. So then that helps me go back to the early chapters, and I can start to weave the backstory into the dialogue. So throughout the book, Pascal is sort of a bit bitter because he was a failed pilot. He did a few runs in the outside world, like the ships leave Terminal 1 and they sort of patrol the marshlands, and then he was kicked off, the squad. So now that changes Pascal's character, and it makes the conversations deeper, because I'm thinking, okay, Pascal's feeling like this, Victor's feeling like this, and then that's where you start to get the layers. So it was a journey of jumping back and forth from the novel to the Word document.
Last follow-up question.
Yeah.
One of the characters with us in the room.
Oh yeah.
Can we know about?
Yeah, I can give you a bit of hint. So with Ella, I'm always like, so me and Ella will be out shopping at Albert Heijn, and then I go like, can I tell you about Terminal 1? Because Ella's given me an update of her day, and then I just want to like share something in my life, whatever. So I'll tell her just a bit of history, or like a bit of the chapter or that I'm working on. And I read Ella a certain section that's way later in the novel. And it's like chapter, it's an arc where Markel ends up with the Chinese. He's been on a bit of a journey, and he's on the Chinese level again. He's 47 China. He's come sort of full circle. And in that, Lord Mo Chacha Bao, this big Chinese lord, he has 6 daughters, and Markel makes friends with one of the daughters. And they sneak out at night time in one of the chapters in this cool sort of adventure. She's a bit rebellious, and then Markel's like, we're not allowed to do this, and he chases after her, and she meets these friends. And in the history of Terminal 1, the Chinese and the Japanese have a conflict. So Zihan, the daughter, is meeting these Japanese friends, but her father wouldn't approve of this. So Ella's costume was an inspiration from these Japanese friends, because I described them in the book as, having like stripy eyes, colourful skin. So that's the bit of context of Ella's costume. Yeah. So it's
but the way you read, even, the way you read, I was there, really. I was looking through, and I was there, I was imagining this girl, and then this McAllister, and this just big man fat with belly.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. And oh yeah, go on.
She should be proud of us.
What a nice book! Wow, and will there be a release party?
Oh yeah, so the original plan with this is I wanted to do birthday and Terminal 1 party, which I have done, but because I'm still editing the book, you know, this is almost just a little teaser, if you like, a bit of chapter 1 and but you know, we dress up and I'm sort of like getting towards the end of the book. But I've shifted the release date to December 9th. And then I'll potentially look at a venue, you know, to get maybe like a little cafe or a little hall, and then, you know, get everyone to come. I can get friends and family from UK and everything. You know, I'll read out chapter 1 again, or the first 2 chapters, and have like maybe Terminal 1 t-shirts and things on the wall. So yeah, the bit. So I'm sort of. I have to. The beauty of writing a novel is it's really made me disciplined, and like I have to really sit down and do it, because now I'm really in the final stages. Sometimes when I have to rewrite 1,000 words, it really feels like a task. So I've really had to like push through, and like it's like a marathon. It really is, because you're just scrolling through about 50 PhD essays. You know, I've got all these notes everywhere, and I'm like, oh. So sometimes it's really fun, sometimes it is difficult. But yes, I'm gonna finish Terminal 1, and then it's. Right now in my head, I think it's going to be about 4 books long. So with Terminal 1 and it being a science fiction, there's room to explore all these other levels, because the first book, I don't want to overwhelm the reader. There's a lot of words and cultures, but I do stick to maybe like 3 or 4 main levels. But then in the future books, you know, what's level 2, what's level 67 or whatever, and I can veer off in these sub stories, but I always have to try and like keep it grounded in a way that's relatable, because otherwise, you know, I don't want to be just talking about all these like wars and and then you know, you don't know what's happening anymore. So there's the overall I've got the overall character arcs. I have an idea of like where everyone's moving to. So yeah, that's a taste of Terminal 1. So thank you so much all for listening. So apologies for the beginning. I can't do like emotional speeches about me without crying. Like I did a German exchange and I did a goodbye speech for the group, and like I was there with my paper like I love you all. Like it was all like tears everywhere. Like, so I can't do speeches like that.
That's why you're like this.
Yeah.
Otherwise you would never be like.